to the Nerdverse.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nerdverse Podcast, where we are back in the wide multiverse of all things comics, cinema, pop culture, and all things nerdy. We are your hosts. I'm Jordan.
I'm Josh.
And three weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer than what we expected, probably. We're just here to ride the
got
wave.
Canceled yet?
No, we were just. You know what? With today's topics, we're gonna be fighting those. We're gonna be fighting that wave right now. I think we're on a schedule now. I think we're as official enough to be able to say that we're on a schedule at this point.
I believe so.
Every Wednesday, I think we've said it. Every Wednesday, a full episode of Nerdverse Podcast. All right, it's available to download and to stream and to listen.
Do we know what time yet? We're not that far.
we're still there, but definitely on Wednesdays. I would say Wednesdays at 12 p.m. I think is a fair.
Wednesday at 12 p.m. Okay, I like that.
Fair way to say it. Pretty universal. Have something to expect and have something to look forward to during the week to get us through hump day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then something to just get us through and then get us to the weekend.
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough. All right. But crazy, we're back here again. All right. This is, like we said, 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
A lot of hours, a lot of time has already been put into this.
It's like a job. It really is.
Right. We're just not getting paid. It's more like being voluntold. All right.
Being in the military, I know all about being voluntold.
Right. Can we just give a shout out to all the content creators that have made it and have done such a great job, and the people that like we aspire to follow and to be around and to be on that same level, because holy shit, has it been a difficult journey so far.
And we've spoken about it even, selfishly. We would love to be able to create content with some of these creators and actually get some ideas and bounce some thoughts off of each other.
We're coming.
We're coming.
Or more so, they're coming. It's almost like an incursion on their world.
Yeah.
And the Nerdverse is just incursion.
Perfect
reference.
Terrible movie, but perfect reference.
Speaking of incursions, right? Because Multiverse of Madness was terrible. One bright spot, Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
John Krasinski
was a great Mr. Fantastic. It is unfortunate that he died.
Yeah, that he died in 10 seconds. But you know who hasn't died is our new Reed Richards. And I think that's a great segue to be able to start talking about that. We are now, again, similar to our first episode, we're 48 hours away now from
oh my God, that's crazy.
And it just feels like, and I know that it seems probably a little bit repetitive, that our 2 to 3 episodes that we've put out have been very solely based around Superman and Fantastic Four. But it's just a matter of timing.
Yeah.
Right? It's a matter of timing, and it was all these new beginnings and big anticipatory projects.
Yeah.
But we're back.
I think that, we spoke about, the Pascalverse. And I think that is maybe just a little bright bubble inside of our little Nerdverse.
Right. The
I think that 48 hours away from the Fantastic Four, and you better than anyone know that the Fantastic Four is my shit.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to put the $80 down on the Galactus popcorn bucket. That's how ready I really am.
Josh is Josh has not stopped talking. I mean, I think when the projects came out, it's I think maybe with intent behind it from the studios themselves, but like to have James Gunn's DCU starting off with Superman, and then right on the heels of it, MCU decides to drop
Fantastic Four,
which is a new beginning in its own itself, and to have those two
phase,
projects,
I believe. Yeah,
just butting heads right.
Let them fight.
I think we always said it. I was more excited for Superman. You were more excited for Fantastic Four. But you know what? Fuck it. We get to have both.
Exactly. Right? That's the best part about being comic book lovers is we get to enjoy both. We don't have to choose a side. Here in the Nerdverse, we're all about letting.
I like to choose a side.
Well, that's why there's co-hosts.
The side of vengeance. You remember when Robert Pattinson, when that trailer dropped in DC, was it Superdome or Fandom?
Yes, I still remember it because if you go into my search history, it's probably there from a week ago where I watched the trailer again.
And it was Nirvana, and it was just like Batman Noir. That was crazy.
In the way.
Josh is a singer, guys. Josh is a singer. Josh has actually there's videos out there that I'm sure people can find of Josh as a singer. But we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that. I think, talking about the Fantastic Four really briefly, because there's something else that we want to talk about, I think, a little bit more. But the Fantastic Four dropped new teaser trailer. They're dropping all this TV spots
More
now.
of like I saw a little behind the scenes, like a vignette kind of Matt Shackman, which incredible job on WandaVision.
Yeah,
so
man.
I'm so hyped.
Yeah, and it's that he dropped. I saw the scene of the. It seems to be like the negotiating scene of how Reed is and the Fantastic Four are presenting themselves to the press, of saying like we got a glimpse of what is happening. Like they went to Galactus
To bargain, like Dormammu.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Quiet.
The funny thing is that Josh actually does these like voices
On the
all
regular.
the time. Like you pick up the phone and oh man, he picks up the phone and he's just like in a different character all the time. However, regardless, negotiation scene, it looks great. I personally thought it was insane that they dropped such a tidbit of information.
Yeah.
What seems to be a pivotal point that they negotiated, and it seems to be that when they ask, or the reporter goes and he asks, like, what did he want? And he said, like, Reed goes, well, a price too big for us to pay, or something along those lines.
Yeah, like he wants our child.
He wants our child, which, by the way, is Franklin Richards, not Nathaniel Richards. Episode 1, in discussion with this guy, I looked like a fucking idiot, and I said Nathaniel Richards, who actually ends up becoming Kang.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
The fact that Galactus is negotiating for them, and we kind of already starting to see that premise where clearly it's left to be believed that the Fantastic Four are not going to give up their kid.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Do they know that he's as powerful as he is to be at that point? Or are they just holding on to the fact that he's not the fact that like if he wasn't powerful that you could just give up your kid? But
so you're saying that if your kid doesn't have superpowers, you can just
I'll fucking eat him. What do you want? What do you want? The Simba meme where he's like,
I think that something about that scene, there was a lot about that scene that was great, but seeing the smartest man alive sit there and go, are we safe? I don't know. Chills. It would give me chills. I was like, what do you mean you don't know? If I was there, I would be like, what do you mean you don't know? Sorry, I don't like you anymore. Can we go to other Earths? Because we need other superheroes. Tony Stark wouldn't say, I don't know.
Would he though?
But he wouldn't.
Iron Man 1 and 2, Tony, would definitely say fuck off.
Oh, yeah, but there's a difference between saying fuck off and I don't know. Reed seems like simply like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, I have no idea.
And we spoke about that a little bit before, but to have, he's in the top 3 most intellectual people in the entire multiverse of Marvel at that point.
Marvel.
Probably right under Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom probably holding some sort of hierarchy above him at that point.
Dr. Doom, yeah. Well, I would say Professor X also kind of is up there.
Those are argued as the 3.
Yeah.
I mean, T'Challa, too.
T'Challa
is extremely smart. However, to have someone of that much intellect, like the modern day Einstein for them, right? Like they're just this progressive, forward-thinking hero, and to say, I don't know if we're in danger.
Right.
That's scary. Like you as a group of people are looking towards something to give you a sense of like reassurance that this is going to be okay. Like we're going to be all right. Like you guys are heroes. You guys can fix anything. You guys fought the fucking mole man. You guys got, the fucking silver lady is fucking up there. You guys, whatever.
Giganto from this Little Caesars commercial.
You got Giganto. You guys can do anything, can you? And I don't know, Chief. I don't know about this one. I don't know about this guy. Have you seen him?
Evacuate the city. Engage your defenses.
You see? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And get this man a shield.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Are we going to get in trouble for that? However, we'll see if that one stays in. We'll see if that stays in. Regardless, we talked about it. obviously you're super excited for it. I'm excited for it. I think the suits look great. I think the story is great. We're riding on a high of high trust.
Yeah.
I know I spoke about how Phase 4, Phase 5, and the DCEU projects, which, by the way, something I read and I wanted to bring up to you. So just in its first 5 days, or its opening weekend, Superman, as a project, has made more worldwide revenue in its first weekend than the last 4 DCEU projects put together, and that includes Blue Beetle, The Flash,
Aquaman, The Last Kingdom,
and Shazam. And
that doesn't surprise me.
It's made more money than Thunderbolts.
That's surprising. No, it doesn't surprise me, but
I don't think people had the hype to go into Thunderbolts and they expect it to be as good as it actually was.
Yeah.
But my point of making is, which is incredible, like that's how you kick off a fucking DC, a new universe, is by having that sort of success. Well, and I'm pretty sure it will take. It's gonna probably end up taking maybe it takes $1 billion. I don't know if it takes $1 billion yet, but it definitely has the potential. I mean, it's just been open for a week. I mean, we already seen that. However, the idea behind the Thunderbolts, for example, and all the following MCU projects that have come out and had kind of given me a little bit more belief to be a little bit more optimistic of projects that are coming out.
Right.
Like Thunderbolts really helped out a lot, and I know I was really, really like
ranging on that shit.
Brave New World,
Okay.
and definitely the DC projects that have come out, like Creatures and Peacemaker and Superman. So the levels of optimism are rising to be able to feel like we can have better expectations. And I know we've spoken countless times about expectations. However,
sometimes they dwindle as comic book lovers.
Right. But I am genuinely excited for Fantastic Four. Yeah. I mean, I'm genuinely excited to see how it's going to work. It feels like it's so long. We haven't gotten a good adaptation of it yet. And it's a great cast.
What do you mean we haven't gotten a good adaptation? Didn't you like It's fantastic. You didn't like that? No. Okay. I understand. I understand.
With what is his name? Miles Teller? Rooster?
Rooster.
Rooster. And Killmonger,
Rooster, and whoever the other people were.
I don't even remember who the other guys were. I don't even remember who they were. And Metallo as Dr. Doom, essentially. Metallo. Go figure.
Lithium battery, Dr. Doom.
So 48 hours away. We're excited for it. Expectations going into it. My only question to you is, does Dr. Doom appear in this movie?
Does Dr. Doom appear in the movie? I do not believe so. Does Dr. Doom appear in the end credit scenes? I think that it's a sure-in. You have to understand.
That's the fucking movie.
Nah, it's not, though. You can't say that an end credit to a movie is a movie when, for example...
What? People don't leave the seat. And the lights don't go on until after the end credits.
So if that's the case, yes, I do believe that Dr. Doom appears. I think that...
It made me want to hit you sometimes.
I think that it was confirmed that Anthony and Joe Russo are directing at least one of the post-credit scenes, and understanding that this movie is set right before Avengers Doomsday. This is the final project that the MCU as a movie will put out before Doomsday. I think that if you don't show us Dr. Doom, you're making us just kind of ride the hype train of, oh my God, it's Robert Downey Jr. When do we actually get to see Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom? You can only ride it for so long before you actually have to show us something.
Right. Do you actually think that Robert Downey Jr. is actually Dr. Doom? Or is this like a psych out? Is this a work? A famous wrestling terminology for something that seems to be like a diversion.
Yeah.
Like a diversion for something, or something that is made to be believable as to lead us to expect that this is what's actually happening, and then something else actually happens.
No,
and we get fooled.
I think that Dr. Doom is Robert Downey Jr. I think that,
Like, you think that's the Secret Wars Dr. Doom?
I believe that it is the Secret Wars Dr. Doom. I just don't know if Dr. Doom is going to be the villain of Secret Wars. I believe that Dr. Doom is going to understand that there is something more coming, and is going to be almost like a, wow, you guys thought I was bad. Wait until you see what's coming next.
Who? Is there an owl in here?
Emperor Doom, for example, is a good one. Emperor Doom.
Emperor Doom. All right.
Emperor Doom versus Superior Iron Man with slap. Tom Cruise, Superior Iron Man.
Let fucking Tom Cruise rest. God damn it. Tom Cruise
doesn't want to rest.
Doesn't want to do this shit anymore. Yeah. I think he probably does show up in some sort of end credit scene. But there's something about me that about me that feels that maybe we're getting worked, and maybe our the real Doom, as smart as we know he is, could be working all of us to believe that maybe he used Robert Downey Jr. We say Robert, but Tony Stark used Tony as a stand-in to engage some level of trust amongst the Avengers, to believe that obviously someone of his mental capacity and his intellect is someone that could maybe bring himself back, or have had a different version, or maybe worked Thanos in that situation. At any point do you feel that it's like seeing Tony Stark's face, even though it may be Victor Von Doom and not Tony Stark, does it like sour your experience that you had in Endgame with how the story of Tony Stark ended?
I think so. I think that
let the guy rest.
I think that seeing Tony's face, well, we're gonna call Tony, it's RDJ obviously, but seeing Tony's face as Doom almost feels wrong. It feels taboo. It feels like it just shouldn't be happening. Like, let the guy rest, kind of like what you said. It's the same way, though, that I felt with Hugh Jackman as Logan.
Yeah.
He had an amazing end as Logan. They brought him back for Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, it wasn't the exact same Logan, but I loved Deadpool and Wolverine, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that I feel like it did diminish a little bit of what Logan did.
How much does that actually play into the idea that the Fox universe was going into Deadpool and Wolverine? We knew that there was time travel already established in the Fox universe with Days of Futures Past, and even in Deadpool. In Deadpool 2, like how he was bouncing. So we knew that time travel was essentially a thing. We don't know that time travel is essentially a big prominent thing just based off of the events of Endgame. We knew that that Clint and Natasha were able to go back in time, but there wasn't these actually, I'm so sorry.
The entire
team went.
The entire time heist.
There was a time heist, but are we led to believe that? Like, it felt right in the Fox universe it felt like we could get a pass with using it because there was so much time travel established. Like, a lot of those movies were based off around time travel and like how those guys moved from timeline to timeline. However, to be able to say, I don't know, something about it, I don't want to lose the feeling that I had seeing that arc completed from the most selfish bastard in the universe, in Tony, becoming the most selfless and sacrificing himself, and lose that feeling that I got. Do I believe that the Russos can find a way and write a way, like with Marty and McFeely?
I don't think that they would have come back. I don't think they would have come back if they didn't already know.
That is true.
A way
that
to
is
do
true.
It. They did state that they were done. They were done. Yeah. They didn't want to come back. Something had to have been so.
They had to. They said that they needed to find the story,
and I guess they found it. And so if I had trust in anybody, I have trust in
James
the
Gunn.
Russos. Oh, well, you know.
With big ensemble films, it seems like the Russos are those guys.
In Gunn we trust still.
In Gunn we trust.
But I think that...
Is it too far-fetched to believe that eventually down the line, after the DCU is established enough, when we get to, let's say, a Flashpoint or a Blackest Night series? Because I've been saying on record, and even when this comes out, but for years now, ever since the DCU was announced, I said, oh, well, what's the big end thing that everyone's going to be working towards? And everybody was like, oh, it's Flashpoint. It has to be Flashpoint, like the way it has to be Secret Wars to start your capital. And I have been saying, as a massive avid Green Lantern fan, that I have been saying that the Blackest Night series could be the absolute best way to bring these people together and use it as an overarching...
It would be great. It would
like, that's your big bad.
Yeah, and we've gotten into this before as far as you thinking it's Blackest Night. Me personally,
Necron and Blackhand.
I think it's Kingdom Come. I think that Kingdom Come will be the story that is adapted.
Oh, yeah.
But that's I think that's
but what I was trying to get to. Do you think it's far-fetched to believe that, obviously, to say that the Russos are the most successful directors in... I mean, that could be a hot take, and we can break it down. Mm-hmm. But the Russos are the most successful directors in the MCU so far. Between like their projects are the most successful.
Oh, absolutely.
And having that being said, they did Winter Soldier,
which is amazing. Top 5
No.
MCU film.
No.
And I don't even think that's a hot take.
No.
But
No.
okay. All right. You know what?
Let's break it down next week.
Yeah, next week.
Next week's episode.
On the Nerdverse.
on the Nerdverse. This has been Chat You Betcha. We're still having so much fun getting used to this whole entire thing. Intrusive thoughts are flying everywhere.
I think that
They're the
Russos
most
are
successful.
They're
the most successful. I mean, if Infinity War and Endgame obviously like just can hold themselves, but Civil War and Winter Soldier, and then what seems to be Doomsday, and then they're on for Secret Wars. Like that is those could be obviously the big. Those are the big 6.
I think that when we got the information about Doctor Doom coming back, that was awesome. That was crazy. You know, RDJ is Doctor Doom. But what was like, you know what? You got my attention now. I'm ready to listen and I'm ready to be here. Was hearing that Anthony and Joe Russo were coming back.
Yeah, bro, because everything was a fucking mess leading up to it. Like, I don't know. There was the Shang-Chi director, and then it was supposed to be the King Dynasty, and then that whole entire thing. And then at the time of this recording, there was like reports that I started seeing online on Instagram, and I can't name the sources, but apparently Kevin Feige was already going on record saying that, like, oh, we were already beginning to pivot from
feels like a little bit of backpedaling.
It looks like backpedaling. And honestly, I don't know. Maybe it was because it wasn't being well received, but you fucked yourself when you put out what you did with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Truthfully. I mean, that's
Quantum Mania.
Quantum Mania. You're right. Absolutely. Regardless, is it too far-fetched to believe that maybe James Gunn, having been a successful director in the MCU with his trilogy, do you think that, is it a far-fetched idea to think that maybe down the line, James Gunn employs the Russos to come and direct the big ensemble films in the DCU?
I don't think it's far-fetched at all. I think that it would be brilliant. I mean, clearly, if anyone can do it, it's them.
Yeah.
They have proven that they can do it. You know, I think that when it comes to directors, obviously, I'm not the most... You're a little bit more of the cinematography person, but I stroked his ego a little bit too hard.
The planet?
But I think that James Gunn enlisting Joe and Anthony Russo down the line to do that Justice League film or do a even bigger story, I don't think that's far-fetched at all. I think that it's enlisting friends to help. I
mean, listen, it's not like it's not, oh, well, you can't bring, Marvel people over. We've already...
And it used to be.
Marvel people can't come over. And I mean, James Gunn himself went from being Marvel's, Guardians director to becoming the head of DC. So I don't think that's...
if I had to say, I don't think it's a hot take either, but if I had to say the second director who I believe in MCU is the most successful, it's James Gunn. James Gunn created the Guardians trilogy.
Yeah, 100%.
And everything was well
between
received.
the Russos and Gunn. I mean, maybe you got to give some sort of nod, and I know it's in sour taste because of what happened afterwards. But Joss Whedon
for the original Avengers.
For the Avengers. I mean, Jon Favreau. I mean, you have to give your tap to him to what he did with Iron Man and starting this whole entire thing.
Yeah. John Watts. John Watts was the person who did Spider-Man and was supposed to do the Fantastic Four movies.
He was supposed to do the Fantastic Four movie, and then now, I can't even remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the guy that did Thunderbolts.
Jake Schreider.
Yeah.
Now doing
the
X-Men movies.
So we're in good hands. We're in good hands, man. We're in good hands. But, with all that being said, and what we want to give out as a PSA to everybody, which fortunately for us as a Nerdverse that has been incepted at the time and its origin having come at such an incredible time of jumping off points and such massive media between the DC universe and DC cinema and DC Comics and Marvel, we actually don't only speak about those two things.
It's crazy,
We're
right?
actually very much, this platform was not only to just distribute content regarding DC and Marvel, but it was also to discuss about the things that we also love, which have been spanned throughout multiple forms of media, multiple forms of literature, multiple versions, like cinema in particular. We love our movies that are not superhero movies. Yeah. Josh obviously is a little bit when it comes to outside of graphic novels and comic books. And maybe your occasional Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Josh is a massive reader. You're a big
I do.
book buff.
Bookworm.
Bookworm.
Oh, damn. Book buff sounded a little bit cooler.
yeah. You played yourself.
Damn.
You played yourself. But with that being said, and I think a perfect segue to tie all of this in is we're massive Harry Potter fans, right?
Oh, bro. God, bro, I've been lugging that around all day long.
Just keep that in your pants.
I've been lugging this around all day long, finally. So, anyways, continue.
It's hard. It's hard to continue after something like that. Wow. Love. We're big Harry Potter fans, right? We've loved Harry Potter, and we can give a big nod and a big shout out to our sister, right? Our older sister, Ashley.
Absolutely, 100%.
Obviously, by being older, she was around during the inception, or during the big Harry Potter craze.
Yeah.
When it took over to the United States.
Yeah.
And Ashley has been a big fan of Harry Potter from the rip. That was her obsession. While we were diving into comics, Ashley was a massive into Harry Potter, and we have been massive Harry Potter fans because of her.
Right.
Now, with that being said, Josh, you've always tethered yourself a little bit more to Harry Potter itself.
Yeah.
And you took it to different heights. I took my little path. You took your path. You took your path. Just can you just, because I can't remember just specifically, but for anybody that's listening, for as big of a Harry Potter fan as you actually are, and you are, when I say a nerd, Josh has won fucking money on trivia nights for Harry Potter shit.
Loud and proud, baby, loud and proud.
He goes to Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida, and he goes in there and he's telling the cast members how shit is supposed to be like, fam, that's not how that went.
Why is it off?
like right there. But big fan of the movies, big fan of the books. Just real quick, books or movies?
Books.
Books. You feel like you give, because the books are different from the movies.
Books are very different from the movies. Anybody who says otherwise is wrong.
Would you say that the movies, how much on a scale of, if 100% is an exact copy of it, like how much of the books do you feel like are adapted into the movie? I mean, I read the books, but I'll only say I read the books one time over through. How many times have you read all 7 books?
Oh, at least 8, 9 times.
All right.
I think that when it comes to the books and the movies, the comparison rate, about 70%. I think
you feel like there's 30% that's still left in the books that haven't been
absolutely adapted. There's characters that are left in the books that you never even hear about that are big.
Peeves?
Peeves?
Like Peeves,
Winky, like all these different characters.
Winky was my name in middle school.
But there's so much that is left on the cutting room floor as a Harry Potter fan that now, a little bit hard to understand because of how well received the movies were. They were well received. They were amazing.
Do you feel Harry Potter as a brand would have been as successful as it is now had it not been for the movies? Like, do you think it would have ever gotten to the point where it's like massively produced? Like, it is in the top 5 highest grossing properties.
I think that the book is. I think the book is one of the most highest.
Right. I mean, that I get.
But as far as like a property, Harry Potter is what Harry Potter is now because of the movies. When you think about Harry Potter, you think about the movies. It's what everything is based off of.
Like when you go through and for anybody that has read books in general, but for example, when I read Batman, and people have to, I read Batman's voice in Kevin Conroy's voice, for example, because that's how I interpret it. And when I see the pictures, but if I'm reading just regular, like Lord of the Rings, for example, it's hard not to read Lord of the Rings, and when you're hearing, like you're reading any sort of dialogue of Gandalf, to not envision in your mind what Gandalf is on screen, like Ian McKellen.
Exactly.
And so for you to say that, I mean, obviously without the movies, it wouldn't have never gotten to the extent that it is. Like those theme parks are based around what we saw cinematically.
Yeah.
But now we're getting a new wrinkle.
We are.
And something that probably we knew was going to eventually come, but now it's actually here. The HBO series that is now officially in development. That's being shot.
Yes.
Casting pictures have already come out. We have seen not only casting pictures, not only castings, but castings, the images of the people in their costumes and dressed. We've seen. We know the only facts that we do know is that we're led to believe that there's going to be 7 seasons.
7 seasons. They are.
Tell me what you know, bro. Tell me what you know, because I honestly don't think I know as much.
So, from what I understand, it's going to be 7 seasons. One season will be based on one book, which are going to be about 6-7 episodes in a season. Which right there alone, HBO is notorious for giving long episodes. So I believe that.
Ain't that the truth?
I believe that it gives you more time to dive into these characters and dive into some of the things that the book maybe goes further into that the movie glances over. I think that.
Well, yeah, you know what? That's actually
it's hard.
True.
It's hard for me, being such a Harry Potter fan, to look at. I can't say his name because I don't know it, but to say like the new Harry Potter, and not look at Daniel Radcliffe and be like, but this is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But also at the same token, you look at them when Daniel Radcliffe was younger versus this guy as younger.
This little kid, like that image that came out that was circulating the media of him with the glasses and the hair and this. If that was any kid out in the street dressed, take the Hogwarts robe off.
Yeah.
And take the Hogwarts colors off. But dressed, and you look at it and you're like, dude, that kid looks like fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That kid looks like Harry Potter. Josh looked like Harry Potter growing up. Josh
if we can, we'll try to put the picture
we'll put a picture right here. Josh as Harry Potter when he was young.
Like 5 years in a row, by the way.
Right.
I wore those things.
Right. Josh really thought that he was really going to get that letter coming to him. However, it is hard because, and I think it's easy to pen someone that looks to look like Harry Potter doesn't take a lot.
Yeah.
Like, especially a young Harry Potter.
Yeah.
To look like Ron, you don't necessarily need like a thing.
Yeah.
Like the red hair, sure.
That's,
like that.
yeah.
I think the one that I saw that had the most backing behind it, or the one that was like really much rough, was the one that got casted as Hermione. Because everyone was like, the book fanatics were like, that's
Hermione.
what Hermione looks like, because she looked like, but like it's hard not to say Emma Watson because of course we grew up with Emma Watson.
First of all, Emma Watson, bae. That was my first celebrity crush on earth. Like
Emma Watson was Josh's first everything.
What?
And but she looks a little bit more
absolutely
ragtag, a little bit more
a little bit more ragtag.
edges.
She has the perfect hair, the poofy,
and she looks like she's mixed a little bit. Like she's not like British, like super white Caucasian British. Like she looks like mixed a little bit. So is it an adjustment? Sure, but we say this with a lot of the castings of throughout, not just any of just like comics and stuff, but we see that with a lot of things in cinema and just in general, where we are used to one thing and then we see a new version of it and we're just like, that's not it. We saw it with Superman.
We saw it with Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, we saw it with Mr. Fantastic, all that stuff. However, to just address the basilisk in the chamber, the big craze that everybody's been getting.
Yeah.
We've seen Hagrid. I think the guy looks just like Hagrid. I love that picture as Hagrid. We have gotten I think his name is Jonathan Lithgow, is
Dumbledore.
Is Dumbledore. That's going to be hard because not only do we have one Dumbledore, we have two Dumbledores. We have two Dumbledores. Michael Gambon and the other one that just passed. That passed, not just passed, but passed after episode 2. Or
episode 2.
Movie 2.
Yeah.
However, the big one is Snape.
Right.
Papa Essedu. Right?
Yeah.
Papa Essedu, I believe, was also Black Manta in the DCEU.
Yes.
Right? He was Black Manta. And he's a great actor. I think, and I've seen a few other projects, and I can't name him off the top of my tongue. I think he's actually genuinely a good actor.
I believe he was in a horror movie, if I'm not mistaken. I believe maybe it was the This Is Us movie. Maybe.
Is it Us or Get? No, it wasn't Get Out.
No, it wasn't Get Out. I believe it was maybe the Us movie. I think.
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Fact check us about it.
But it's without a secret that people get up in arms and get fucking twisted out of their head because this character I've been raised to know is a Caucasian character.
Right.
He's always been drawn in Caucasian. This happened with Superman.
Yes.
And I know, God, fuck. I mean, for someone that says that he doesn't like Superman, I mean, like, I've been talking a lot about fucking Superman.
Yeah.
However, when we had an iteration of Superman when he was black.
Yeah.
And that was just considered as an Elseworld story.
Yeah.
But there was rumors circulating that Michael B. Jordan was going to be casted as
Yes.
Superman at one point, and I don't think a lot of people were
Liked
getting
it.
around that. A
Yeah.
lot of people were having a little issue or having big issues with the idea of you can't cast a black man as Superman.
And so I think that the first thing to go into is
Which, by the way, soundbite, because I don't need it to be cut out and edited and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There is absolutely nothing fucking wrong with casting a black person to play a certain
white
role.
role. Yeah.
However, what I will say is that those things are going to always have backlash.
yes, absolutely.
Always going to have backlash with that
100%.
shit. So, please, what were you going to say?
I think that when it comes to my books, my movies, my things, I get very up in arms about it. However, I think that he's a great actor. I have seen some of his work. I believe that the only thing that gets me a little bit maybe on edged about it is Snape is portrayed in the books and in film as somebody who is pale for a reason. He is crooked nose. He looks very much disheveled and not
Dead.
like, yeah,
Like
he
dead.
looks dead and sunken in with his eyes and the long black hair. Like there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like I have no issue with changing castings and changing things, but when you're changing the attributes that maybe make the character the reason why the character is the character,
Yeah.
it feels like you're just taking away from the source material.
Right.
You're not.
You know what? That's, Josh, I fuck with you a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that is absolutely, completely perfectly worded. I don't think I've heard someone on any sort of media site or any sort of thing say it that way, because I think that's...
Now he's stroking my ego.
What? Let me stroke your wand. Let me just stroke your wand. But I think that is the absolute most perfect way to have said it.
Right.
Because, yes, you can have things about a person... Like, dude, if they're going to be behind a mask or they're going to be under, under a disguise,
Absolutely.
you can change shit. You can change
Absolutely.
shit. We've had multiple Green Lanterns. Nobody has an issue with that.
Of course.
We've had Jon Stewart, who is a black person. We've had Kyle Rayner
Yes,
and Guy
multiple
Gardner and
Spider-Mans.
stuff like that. We have multiple Spider-Mans. We have, for example, and I don't know why it just came to me right now, Max Dillon, Electro, has always
Yes.
been interpreted as a white person.
Yeah.
And dude, you go onto the Islands of Adventure ride, his his adaptations from the early 70s at that
Right.
point, the cartoons that we were raised with Spider-Man Unlimited and the Amazing Spider-Man and the Spider-Man the Anime, all of that have always interpreted Max Dillon, the PlayStation games, Max Dillon, Electro is a white person.
Yeah.
But they casted Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know if it was because of design and trying to be like with the times and trying to make it innovative, but the fact is
It didn't work.
it didn't work.
Didn't work. However,
but like they changed everything about Electro.
Yeah.
He didn't have the star. He didn't like if Electro had been in Amazing Spider-Man 2, what he was in No Way Home, it could have hit a little bit more.
Yeah.
And maybe the writer and the story and all that stuff like
Yeah.
that. But just visually, it just didn't fit well.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like that was hard, and it took you a little bit. But I won't have a gripe on how Jamie Foxx adapted Electro as a villain in No Way Home.
Yeah,
so
not
I
at
think
all.
you're absolutely right with how that is, but. Overall, in all, do you feel, because I think a lot of people are making the jokes about it, and we've subtly talked about it, something to be said about Electro, something to be said about Snape. And we know through the story, we know through the history, we know through the show and the movies, that Harry always has this little thing about Snape.
Yeah,
that
distrusts him.
He distrusts him. And Snape is always being accused of everything by the kids. And
Yeah.
they're always like, there's something up with him and he's sneaking around.
Yeah.
And he's doing all these things in X, Y, and Z. But now to have that,
Yes.
like in the woke ass time.
And we spoke about it very briefly because we wanted to save it all for the podcast. But to me, it felt like there's no way around the idea, even though I wouldn't make it one, maybe other people would, this is going to be a race thing now. And it sucks because it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a race thing, but it will be.
But it's going to be a race thing.
It's going
no
to be a race thing.
how much anybody wants to say anything about it.
Because unfortunately, you have a character like Snape who, I don't think it's a spoiler alert to say, is one of the most intriguing, interesting, and story-driven characters of the entire saga of Harry Potter. Right. You know, a villain, and then he ends up actually being the guy who actually gave a shit about Harry the most.
Right.
And while that can be adapted perfectly, I agree. Mm-hmm. I think that the parts leading up to it of, why is it that we hate the one professor who happens to be African American? Right. Why is it that we distrust this one professor?
Yeah,
though it's source material, the fact of the matter is it's going to be taken in this.
And we live in a different time
as race.
And now everything is. Let's not try to get canceled. Within our first month.
But at the end of the day, as a PSA,
but you're gonna be open to it, and you're gonna watch it,
absolutely,
and you're gonna still,
of course,
and maybe it does work.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it does work, and people see past. As most people and as all people should, they see past the color and they see it for the entertainment and the value of it.
Exactly.
So we're still going to obviously consume it. However, we are aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
My other thing is that Voldemort.
Yes.
Voldemort. That's the only. We know he's obviously going to be in it. He has to be.
Of course.
But we haven't gotten a casting for him.
Right.
And it seems to be that they're purposely, from what the reports have said, they're purposely
keeping it under the wraps.
Keeping it under the wrap because they don't want the media outrage. Loosely, like just big headliners. But seems to be that the two faces that are being brought up and the two names that are being brought up the most are Matt Smith and Cillian Murphy as Voldemort.
I think that's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. I think that, it is interesting because you say obviously he has to be in it. Yes, he does. However, Voldemort's not really present in the first movie or the second movie, and not at all in the third movie or book.
I got it. It all works.
Oh, boy.
It all works. Cillian Murphy is fucking Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
And they're keeping that a secret because they're using Robert Downey Jr. as a facade to be able to cover the fact that Cillian Murphy is actually the real Doctor Doom, and that gives it just enough time that by the time we finally see him at the end of season 4, or what is to be season 4, The Goblet of Fire, when he comes out and he's like that, and he's like blood of what is it? The blood, bone, and my wand won't tell. Did it again. If we get enough bites, I'm just gonna put impression alert, or Josh did it again, and then Cillian Murphy comes over and he becomes Voldemort for the final 4 seasons. He's also filming Peaky Blinders. Banger,
fantastic show.
Banger, perfect. Down
cinema,
down to the last minute detail. You want to talk about castings, dude? I think his name is Anthony Starr, the guy who plays Homelander.
Oh. Love Anthony Starr.
Fucking guy. If James Gunn, I will remove and rescind everything I ever say about James Gunn and We Trust, but if that fucker doesn't get casted as Reverse Flash, he missed the fucking mark. I don't care who he's casting as Batman right now.
But there's one other person who I think could do a banger job as the Reverse Flash.
Who, Josh? Who? The guy from CW?
No. The guy who plays,
or whatever.
I can't remember his name, but the guy who plays Dexter. I've seen that a lot.
Oh, Michael C. Hall?
Michael C. Hall.
You know what?
I think that would be
I still think that Anthony Starr, the Homelander, is actually the right answer. I'm so sorry.
No, you know what? I don't need it anymore.
I'm sorry.
They will validate me. Yeah.
Michael C. Hall is a great show.
Yeah.
And he's obviously back into acting. Obviously super well-renowned for Dexter.
Yeah.
As cynical, plays 2 different versions and 2 different identities. I think that's actually a pretty good show. You know what? I haven't seen a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty fucking good.
Thanks,
Not
man.
bad.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Been waiting here for so long.
What's tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow is Big Brother's birthday.
Thank fuck. I had to remind you to tell you.
Yeah,
to remind you.
Tomorrow's Big Brother's birthday. About to be what, 30?
What? It's like in Bad Boys when he's like when he goes, "You look 30." Like, no, we're not gonna say my age, but yeah, 6 years older than you, and anybody that's actually watching for continuity will be able to put together.
Right.
So if you want the answer, go look for it. Last thing I want to talk to you about, with the potentiality of having so much Harry Potter media that's coming out in the next couple of years with that show, do you feel that there's any wiggle room? We saw with Lord of the Rings how the movies were coming out, and then we got Rings of Power, and that they're starting to loosely adapt other shows based off of the lore of
Lord of the Rings.
And we saw that with Game of Thrones, and we saw that
with Star Wars, especially.
We saw that with Star Wars. So do you think that there's any room for more spin-off series? And I know that in particular 2 have been circulating around. It's kind of like when people were like, "Oh, I want to see a 40-minute short of how Captain America returned all the stones." Like all of that.
I still want to see it.
I still want to see it. He's actually confirmed for Doomsday now. Breaking news. Chris Evans is officially back in the MCU.
Do we just not get secret cameos anymore? Does it not happen?
No.
Secret cameos were
Blade.
thing.
I think Blade
No, we knew already that he was.
Did we know he was?
Yeah,
coming?
we knew.
We knew Channing Tatum was coming in it. That's Gambit.
If you didn't know it, you lived under a rock.
A rock. Patrick.
Yeah.
Patrick Star.
But secret cameos were the best experience for me. It almost makes me want to get off of the phone completely because I'm
can't.
Because I'm like, damn,
we have people that depend
I
on
didn't
us
want to
now.
know. But, at the end of the day, yes, I think that it's going to be awesome. And I hope he's not Captain America. I hope that he's Captain Hydra.
They say, I heard someone already start circulating rumors that he's going to play Captain Hydra. That's going to go back because they find out that Steve Rogers was the anchor being of the Earth 616. And Captain Hydra goes and is employed by Dr. Doom to go and kill him.
That would be but I mean, then
he went back in time.
But he already fought himself. How many times are you going to have Captain America fight himself?
I don't know, Josh. How many times is the Flash going to be back in his room that night that his mom died? How many times is he going to do that? Huh? We got 15 Flashes. We got 2 Reverse Flashes. We got the Spectre watching out the door. The Leagues of Shadow, the Leagues of Tomorrow, the Legends of Tomorrow, whatever the hell it is. You got Martian Manhunter. You have a Green Lantern who doesn't want to be a Green Lantern all of a sudden. Stargirl, Supergirl, Superman. You had Burt Ward coming out all of a sudden. You had
the original Flash from the 90s.
Yeah, you had Jake Garrick. You had all of these people. I don't want to fucking hear it, all right? I need to calm down. Yeah. Right.
CW, thank you for stopping. Thank you.
God. If only we could snap those fuckers out of existence. Anyway, so basically what I want to get at is, we're going to have the Harry Potter series.
Right.
But a lot of people for a long time, I think, wanted more sort of media of Harry Potter prior to the announcement of this show. And I think the ones that were most prevalent or the ones that were most spoken about was...
Number one was
the Marauder. The Cursed Child. The Cursed Child one. Shout out to Tom Felton, who's reprising his role as Lucius, though. Yeah. He's going to be Lucius Malfoy.
He's Draco.
Is he Draco?
He's Draco, because remember, the Cursed Child follows the events of Draco, Harry, Ron, Hermione as parents to Scorpius Malfoy. All of them.
His name is Scorpius?
Scorpius Malfoy.
Scorpion, by the way, Mortal Kombat trailer. Got to break it down and talk about that next week episode. The one that most people were talking about was the Marauder series.
Right.
The Marauder series and the Founders of Hogwarts series. I think a lot of people were talking about. If you had to pick one of two, because we're starting to get a little bit tight on time here, our basilisk is starting to choke us.
Pause.
That's going to get cut out.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Which would you have of the two? On the Marauder series
I would love to see the Marauder series.
Over the Founders of Hogwarts?
Easily. I would love to see the Marauder series. I think that...
Give a context of who the Marauders are for anybody that doesn't know who the Marauders are.
Well, it's Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, Prongs.
And who are those?
That is Lupin, Professor Remus Lupin, James Potter, Harry's dad, Sirius Black, Harry's godfather, and Peter Pettigrew, which is Wormtail, which is Voldemort's servant, but was kind of like a weird friend.
Right.
But...
So these were friends in high, whom, after James Potter died, Harry's dad, was killed by Voldemort. all three of them had interactions with Harry
At various
Hogwarts.
points.
So
Yeah.
and has their own tie to him.
I just believe that as a whole, the Marauders show could do a lot of different things. Not only just deal with the Marauders, it could also deal with the fact of what everybody has wanted to see, the fall from grace for Snape. Having to go and go from being a Death Eater to then saying, I want to protect Lily Potter, and Dumbledore saying, okay, well, you want to protect Lily Potter because Dumbledore's a dick. Basically saying,
oh, shit.
Basically saying,
He is a little bit of a dick.
If you want me to do that for you, you got to do something for me. You're going to spy on Voldemort for me.
Right. But we also knew that he became sour. Snape himself became sour because of the fact that he was, ever since he was young in Hogwarts, in his first year or so, that he was in love with Lily Potter. And Snape was bullied. And Snape was a victim of harassment and bullied by them. So it just comes to show that, like, that resentment that now look, even going back into that, dude, like, we're supposed to now assume that, like, Snape,
he was getting bullied.
Snape was being bullied because he was, African American and all that stuff. So I mean, they're setting themselves up for some situation that they're going to have to take out. However, the Marauder series seems like it would be
banger. I think
there's a lot. I feel like there's a little bit more, but dude, the inception of Hogwarts and like the beginning of lore of like
Salazar,
there's no
Slytherin.
Without Salazar Slytherin, there's no Voldemort.
No.
Without Godric Gryffindor, there's obviously no Potter.
Of course.
Like. And we know a little bit about their history, obviously more throughout the books, but we know a little bit about their history, especially in in the
Star Wars,
in film 7, right?
Yeah.
The Deathly Hallows, when they're gathering, because they ultimately end up, in their relics at least, become Horcruxes. Horcruxes. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, I think I'm probably opposed to you. I think I would rather see
Founders of Hogwarts series,
a Founders of Hogwarts series. Versus the Marauders, obviously I would be interested in that, but there's something I want to know where it really all began, like the real origin, like how are those walls the way that they are? We get the story about the Basilisk, we get the story about everything that Helga Hufflepuff, and like the herbology shit, like she was big into herbology, wasn't she, or something?
Yeah, I mean, the
Rowena Ravenclaw was like super super popular or something. Of course. It's been a long time, and I only read the books one time, but obviously I consumed most of the media through the films. But I just think there's a lot of potential there. Yeah. I mean, I really do think, and I don't think, and with that being said, don't you get like Dumbledore's, the premises of Dumbledore's origin a little bit. You also get like, what's the fucking Merlin? Like, hello, Merlin? So I think that'll be a little bit interesting to see, because there's something to say about, like, I know the story, but like I really want to know where the story came from at that point. So with that being said, man, I think we've talked a little bit about it. We've obviously given a little bit of hot takes. Is there anything last thing before we go, follow us on all our social media plays. Obviously on YouTube, give us a like, thumbs up. All right, hit the subscribe button. Leave us any comment for any sort of feedback on anything that we could be doing better, and anything that you guys want to talk about. Leave us questions. We're always going to be here to engage. Right. We're on TikTok, right?
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify,
Odyssey,
SoundCloud, X, Apple Podcasts.
Wow, we are
everywhere. The Nerdverse is expanding.
We're fucking collecting them like
Infinity Stones.
Like Infinity Stones. Infinity Stones. We're collecting them like Infinity Stones. But we're very
at
Nerdverse Podcast. At Nerdverse Podcast for everything like that. So just make sure you give us a follow and any sort of feedback and support. So make sure you follow us on all of our socials that Josh just listed at Nerdverse Podcast. Our Gmail. Nerdverse Podcast at gmail.com. All right, you can contact us directly through that. And again, we're here for any sort of support. So anything that you guys can, it's greatly appreciated. All right?
Yeah.
But that'll do it for another journey through the Nerdverse, friends. Again, I'm Jordan.
I'm Josh.
And remember, Muggles, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if you remember to turn on the light.
Turn to page 394.
That's the best you got, huh? Good night, everybody.